because my husband, he's a disabled veteran. And so we just gave him all the money.
Reynolds, who is a registered sex offender, doing weddings in the back part of his property in Black Forest.
My name is Damon with Complete Media. Today I am doing a reaction video. This one is on a venue operator who was arrested and sued and being accused of defrauding 40 couples. So I've seen a few videos. Normally it's the less expensive vendors. I guess if you want to call it that. A venue is probably going to be the highest cost item. Then it's going to probably be the photographer, videographer, then the others. If the venue has catering, then we'll kind of lump those in there together because the food tends to be the most expensive. But this one is a venue, which is very, very surprising because you just don't hear that. Venues have such a vendor, like a photographer, like I mentioned in the video up here, is able to skirt around. As you saw in the video up there, the photographer changed his name, did business under different business names, so it was hard to catch him. But with the venue, the address is permanent. So that is very interesting. I never, ever heard of a venue defrauding people, let alone 40. That's a ton. I'm going to read what this says. A 42-year-old El Paso County man who was accused of selling more than $250,000 in wedding services at his Black Forest venue is now facing separate civil litigation and criminal prosecution. So that is interesting. And like that other video of the DJ that stole money, which I'll link up here, not only is it civil where they're suing for money because of damages, but then it's also criminal. So then person could possibly be facing jail time, probation, etc. So this is a very interesting video that I want to check out. It's not that long, but it seems it's going to be very interesting for me. So let us check it out.
42-year-old from El Paso County is facing felony charges accused of taking money from couples wanting to use his Black Forest venue for weddings. Richard E. Reynolds is charged with defrauding 40 couples. The victims live between Thornton and Pueblo. El Paso County Sheriff's Office says Reynolds received more than $260,000 and didn't provide any services in return.
Wow, that's crazy.
His charges include simple theft, criminal impersonation, and forgery.
Impersonation,
Katie Johnston for
forgery.
CBSN, Denver.
Man, this is such a short video. I want to see if I can find more. So I am going to say, stay tuned. I'm going to see if I can find any more information about this El Paso venue that is being sued. All right, now here is video number 2 of that same El Paso man that was accused of taking $250,000. So
he's accused of being the ultimate wedding crasher. A man in Black Forest is facing some serious charges tonight.
Couples across the state accuse him of making off with tens of thousands of dollars after the venue they booked was suddenly shut down. Good evening, I'm Bart.
Like that drone shot right there.
More than $260,000 ripped away from 40 heartbroken couples.
That's the accusation from investigators as they dig into the activities of a would-be venue operator in Black Forest.
So this situation that they're explaining so far is not uncommon. It happens, from time to time that a venue will book out a wedding and then decide to do renovations or something like that. But it's common to give back the money or to make other accommodations for the couples. You don't just say, oh yeah, no, I took your money and now it's on you. Go ahead and find another venue. Oh, by the way, I'm keeping that coin. It's typical that you're either going to give them a refund or you're going to make concessions for them, since you're the one that basically breached the contract.
KRDO News Channel 13 Spencer Soysher joins us live now. And Spencer, you spoke with a few couples who were hit hard by this alleged fraud.
Bart and Heather, Richard Reynolds used to operate a wedding venue in the back portion of his property here in Black Forest, but the El Paso County Sheriff's Office says he ripped off dozens and dozens of couples before his property was shut down because of a zoning issue.
Yeah. See, when people decide to get into the wedding industry, not everyone will do their research. So it looks to me so far that this venue operator decided to host weddings and then started having these weddings and then found out that he was not able to do it for whatever reason. And instead of giving the clients their money back, he decides to go ahead and keep it to himself. So
Here comes the money.
$14,000.
Almost 11,000.
Caitlin Olson and Melanie Francis have a lot in common. Both newlyweds who, along with their husbands, were scammed out of thousands by this man, Richard Reynolds, who promised them an all-inclusive wedding venue in Black Forest.
love that drone
We
shot,
would get a
man.
military discount because my husband, he's a disabled veteran. And so we just gave him all the money.
Reynolds, who is a registered sex offender, doing weddings in the back part of his property in Black Forest, but his business was shut down over zoning issues. Instead of giving the money back for his booked weddings after he was
What
shut
you're
down,
supposed to do.
the El Paso County Sheriff's Office said he pocketed it, defrauding more than 40 victims.
Yeah, that was our entire savings and then some.
Man, that's terrible. The fact, I think the news story that they're adding, or the buzzword, the registered sex offender,
Doing weddings in the back part of
I don't know if that really matters with him having a wedding venue. I don't think he has to disclose that to them. I'm not saying that, it's not good to know beforehand. Don't know if this person is required to tell anyone other than neighbors that they're registered for that stuff. But I'm not a lawyer. And if I was, it wouldn't be in that practice, but I want to keep on watching the video.
Melanie and Jared Francis didn't realize they weren't the only ones until recently. They saw a Yelp review for someone who had lawyered up against Reynolds.
And when we tried to contact him in January, he was ghosting us. And then that's when he went on Yelp and found a Yelp review.
Olson saw the review too. They're now part of a class action lawsuit against Reynolds. They're both now happily married, but their weddings weren't even close to what they dreamed of.
This is money that we had to really scrimp and save and, make a lot of sacrifices so that we could have a beautiful wedding. And then to have that just ripped out from under us, It was so stressful. I mean, it made me physically ill.
Did he ruin your wedding experience?
Oh, yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Sure.
There's no question. It's interesting that they, I guess, again, hashtag not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, just a guy that runs a company that likes to watch interesting stories about other wedding companies and share my 2 cents. But it's interesting that they have a class action against this Reynolds person, because being part of a class action basically means that you all share something in common against one particular defendant. So instead of each person hiring a lawyer, they all get lumped together as one defendant. So I don't know how many it would be. I think they said it was 20 or 40 couples. So all 40 could have the same lawyer go against this Reynolds person. And if they win, then they would split the money awarded. But with this guy, it's going to be the same thing that I mentioned in the other video. I'll go ahead and put it up here. The other video where the photographer won $1 million against the couple. She sued the couple and won $1 million. The big part is collecting. You got to be able to collect from this guy. He does have an asset because he has this estate that he was trying to do weddings. So you can put a lien on that, which means that if he tries to sell it, then they have to pay the lien off first before the sale can happen. So that would be probably their only recourse. And that was a pretty big property. Put it back up here. That was a pretty good sized property. So I'm guessing it's worth more than $250,000. But then also because of all these criminal charges against him, then chances are it's not just going to be the money that they paid. The person mentioned, $11,000 and $14,000. Well, a jury could award basically whatever they want with this. So let's just say it's $1 million divided by, those 40 people. So you're able to do something like that if they get if they get a jury trial. So that is interesting that they have a class action. I like that they were able to do that, because I've never seen that ever, a class action against a wedding venue.
Under us, it was so stressful. I just had to bring it back a little bit. Physically ill.
Did he ruin your wedding experience?
And I said it before. Of course, absolutely
sure.
He did. So that video had a little bit more than the other video. So it was able to first see a few of those defendants. We were able to find out that it's going to be a class action against this wedding venue owner, and that will be an interesting development. I tried to research and find more, but really I only found these two videos, and it looks like this one was published in 2021, and subsequently the other one was published 9 months ago. So this one is relatively new, and chances of finding any updates on a case like this in 9 months is going to be a little bit more difficult. But I will keep following this story and find out exactly what happened with this one, because the fact that it's a class action, I am really, really intrigued, and I want to keep on following up with this one. I'm ending this video right now. I want to thank you for rocking with me. My name is Damon with Complete, and what I'm also going to do is pop up 2 links. The first one is going to be right here, and it's going to be
what YouTube thinks you will enjoy watching.
And this one is going to be
my reaction videos.
Thank you for rocking with me, and I will check you out on the next one.